The bank burned at 4:17 on a Tuesday. Walter Price had already watched it burn. He watched it the night before, alone, on film. This is what was found in the projection booth of the Rialto cinema. We are showing you as much of it as we can. 1931. Colter's Mill, Indiana. Population 806. The town had one cinema and one graveyard. Locals joked that they shared customers. Nobody makes that joke anymore. The cinema was the Rialto. 200 seats, one screen, one projectionist. The projectionist was Walter Price, 41 years old, a widower. He lived alone in the room above the booth. The ticket girl was Edith Cole, 17. She counted the till, locked the doors, and noticed things. Remember her. On October 12th, Walter opened the morning delivery. 3 canisters from the distributor in Indianapolis. There was a fourth. The fourth had no label. No studio stamp. No shipping mark of any kind. Edith said it wasn't on the manifest. Walter checked twice. She was right. A projectionist inspects unknown film because nitrate stock burns like gasoline. So that night, after close, Walter threaded it. The reel had no title card, no credits. It opened on Main Street. Their Main Street, shot from a high angle that no building in town could give you. The street was empty. Broad daylight, and not one person, not one dog. Walter noticed the flag first. It hung outside the post office. It did not move for 4 minutes. Then the birds. A wire full of them above the hardware store. Not one of them moved. Then the clock. The First National Bank kept a brass clock above its doors. It read 4:17. The film ran 11 minutes, and Walter checked the clock in every scene it appeared. It read 4:17 in all of them. Whisper. At minute 9, smoke. It came from under the bank's double doors, politely, almost. Then the windows lit orange. Then the roof went. The film was silent, and somehow that was worse. No one came to fight it. No one came at all. The empty street just watched. The last shot was the clock, close up, hands on 4:17, the paint bubbling around the numerals. Then white leader. Then nothing. Walter sat in the booth until 2 in the morning. He decided it was a stunt, some studio's idea of a promotion. He put the reel on the shelf and did not sleep. October 13th was a Tuesday, clear sky. Edith sold 40 tickets to the matinee. At 4:02 that afternoon, Walter stepped outside for air. He looked down the street at the bank. He looked at the clock. 4:30. He counted the minutes the way you count down a fuse. At 4:11, he crossed the street and told the bank teller there might be a fire. He could not say how he knew. That was the problem. The teller laughed. The manager never came out of his office. Walter stood on the marble floor and listened to the building tick. At 4:16, he walked out. He never explained why he walked out. He just did. At 4:17, the transformer behind the bank failed. That is the official version. A spark, old wiring, bad luck. The fire moved exactly as the film had moved. Smoke under the doors first, politely. Then the windows, then the roof. 11 minutes, start to finish. This time, there were people. Screaming, bucket lines, a hose that reached nothing. The film had left all of that out. 2 clerks did not get out. The manager did not get out. The town had 1 graveyard, and that week it had 3 new reasons to visit. The bank clock survived. Firemen pulled it from the rubble. Face cracked, glass gone. The hands had stopped at 4:17. Whisper. Sheriff Dan Hollis worked the ruin for a week. Then he worked the witnesses. Then he came to the Rialto, because Walter had warned the teller. At 4:11, 6 minutes early, Hollis asked how he knew. Walter said he had seen it. Hollis asked where. Walter said, on film. It was the truth. It was also the worst possible answer. They climbed to the booth together. Walter threaded the reel with steady hands. The lamp came on. The film played. The empty street. The still flag. The frozen birds. The clock. Hollis watched all 11 minutes and said one thing. The only movie camera in this county is yours, Price. He didn't arrest him. He stopped on the stairs and said, "Not yet." Then he was gone. After that, Edith stopped meeting Walter's eyes. The matinee crowd thinned to nothing. Someone painted a word across the Rialto's doors. Walter understood the arithmetic. The reel was the only evidence. And the reel pointed at exactly one man. On October 19th, after midnight, he carried it to the alley. He used the incinerator barrel behind the cinema. Nitrate film doesn't burn, it erupts. The barrel breathed a column of white fire, and 11 minutes of Main Street became smoke. Walter watched until there was nothing left but curl and ash. Then he went upstairs. He slept for the first time in a week. He woke at 4:17 in the morning. He hadn't set an alarm. He just woke. There was a sound downstairs. Soft. Like something being set down gently on wood. He went down with a lamp. The lobby was empty. The doors were still locked from the inside. But through the glass, on the doorstep, he could see it. A shape, round and flat. A film canister. No label. Still warm, as if it had just come off a projector. He should have thrown it in the barrel unopened. You already know he didn't. You wouldn't have either. He threaded it at 1 in the morning. The booth hummed. The wall lit up. This reel didn't show the street. It showed the Rialto. Inside, 200 empty seats, lit by nothing he could name. The clock above the exit sign read midnight. Exactly. A man walked in through the lobby doors, alone, unhurried. He came down the center aisle. He chose the third row. He sat. The camera watched him from where the screen should be, which meant the camera was the screen. Walter did not let himself think about that. For a long time, the man just sat there, hat brimmed down, face in shadow. Then the projector light inside the film flickered on, and he looked up. The man in the third row was Walter. Whisper. Same coat, same face, same seat that Walter was not sitting in, yet. On the screen, the other Walter turned his head, slowly, until he was looking directly up at the projection booth window. Then the reel ran out. White leader, flapping. The real Walter checked the clock on the booth wall. 11:41 at night, 19 minutes to midnight. And from the empty auditorium below, he heard a seat creak down. Part 2 is coming. Would you have gone downstairs or bolted the booth door? Tell us in the comments. And if you're watching this after midnight, don't check your third row.